Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean.
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Mike welcomes Nick Gray back to the show. Nick Gray, the founder of Gray Point Ventures. He is an Army veteran of First Tanks, if memory serves me correct. He is also an experienced franchisee, helping franchisors. He has started a business, ran it, grown it, exited from it successfully. The guy knows what he's talking about. We work together with 5 Paragraph Business Plan, and we are helping HOCOA, the Home Repair Network, expand all across this beautiful, great land of ours. So without further ado, thank you, Mr. Nick Gray, for joining us on another episode of Cigars and Sea.
Hey, good to be here, Michael. How you doing?
Another day above ground, as they say.
Absolutely.
So, how is Colorado?
Colorado's beautiful. It's sunny. Got hailstorms in the evenings, but hasn't affected my garden quite yet. So, all in all, things are well.
Now, when was the last time you went out to West Denver?
Went out to West Denver?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't really go out there all that much. Probably the last time was when I went golfing with your brother-in-law, Scotty.
Scotty Vincent.
Scotty.
I call him
Good dude. I'm actually having.
Yeah.
I'm actually grabbing lunch with him on Friday, so time to catch up with him a little bit.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's what I ask you about West Denver, because I was in your neck of the woods recently. Remember? But we can.
You were out here.
Yeah, we couldn't hook up though. I'm sorry. My brother was graduating. What's that?
You blew me off.
Yeah, that's what it was. I totally flaked. You're right. I was trying my hardest not to be able to write the trip off on my taxes. You're right. Which I, by the way, full disclosure, totally am still going to do, because it was nothing but business, baby. Nothing but business. You know what I mean? And I would have liked to have told a lot of other people that I was going to go to Denver, but we made it a surprise. So, like, my brother had no idea I was coming to his graduation. Just boom, I was there in that freaky-ass Denver airport y'all got. That is creepy. By the way, every time I come in there, creepy. Need you to know that.
Well, you know that. Excuse me. That it was. I think Jesse Ventura, one of the conspiracy theorists that's out there, and there's a lot of crazy stories about that place. One of them is the fact that there's a tunnel that goes from DIA all the way down I-25 to Cheyenne Mountain.
Dude, that's nuts. That's nuts.
I think it's true.
I think it's totally true. And the Blue Bronco that falled and killed the guy who created it. I'm sorry, sir, I don't know your name. I came ill prepared. But they still put it up. They're like, oh yeah, it's even better now that it killed that dude. Like, what? Oh, and I was going by and they got these windmill things that look like samurai swords. I'm telling you right now, you come in the arrival, or excuse me, you're going through the departure, you get your ticket, whatever, and then you go down the escalator into the TSA bottleneck nightmare that they've got down there. You look over to your right and boom, you've got these freaking samurai sword fucking windmill things that are out there. I'm telling you what. I'm like, what in this shit is immediately with the craziness? Dude, Denver airport's weird. Anywho, all right, here's why I ask you about West Denver. I went to, oh God, I'm going to slaughter the name of it. It was some grocer that was out there with my sister-in-law, and it was a phenomenal trip. Very successful, okay? But let me tell you what. We went driving through the parking lot, and the first thing I spotted was a 3-foot-long mullet rat tail that was about 4 or 5 inches wide on a gentleman, a bespectacled gentleman who was all business up front and party out back, and it was loosely braided. And I was like, we are in for some good people watching here in West Denver.
Were you at a Walmart?
No.
Where were you?
It was a grocer. God, I'm trying to remember the name of this thing. It was like a human petting zoo. It was, what is going on in here? 95% of the store had maroon, somewhat purplish dyed hair, which I was like, all right, maybe that's a thing. But there was so many front orbs and fanny packs, and I just didn't know what the hell was going on. It was fantastic. There was just a whole bunch of stuff. I wasn't snapping any photos, don't get me wrong. Not trying to humiliate anybody. It's just a whole bunch of crazy out there. Just West Denver. Yeah, so anyway, we helped my brother move from West Denver up the mountain to Silverthorne, which is a night and day. You ever been up to Silverthorne?
Oh, yeah. It's a good place. I like it. Yeah.
It's beautiful up there. We smoked some legal weed up there. It was so fantastic.
Oh, well, there's plenty of it.
Yeah.
Whereabouts did he move in Silverthorne without giving out his 10-digit grid and all?
I can tell you, out of the spillway of the dam that's up there, I can't remember the name of the neighborhood that he's in, but God, it's beautiful up there. Beautiful lake, beautiful countryside, to kind of like gaze out on. There are some pastures off in the distance and stuff, which are pretty crazy because it's in between the mountains, has enough moisture, kind of a deal. God, I don't remember the name of the neighborhood, but it was definitely up the hill from the spillway.
Oh, that place is crazy. I mean, do you see some of the houses that are built on the cliffs right on the lake or the reservoir itself?
Yeah. Well, and the reservoir, keep in mind, also is a flooded town. There used to be a town in there.
I did not know that.
I do not want to go scuba diving and shit like that, okay?
Did they evacuate everybody, or did they just flood it all?
They pulled a Dale Carnegie and just unleashed the dam. That's all that it was. I said Dale Carnegie, not Andrew Carnegie. Wow. Oh, man. They pulled an Andrew Carnegie. If anybody's tracking. No? You guys don't read books, huh? All right.
I'm Googling it right now.
Oh, man. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of the seal town. I want to say that it was in Pennsylvania, where it flooded all the way through. I think it was in Pennsylvania. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yep, one of those things. That can be the factoid of the day while you're looking it up. Now, real quick, I'm going to ask the audience. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We're doing all sorts of craziness that's out there, and it's fun. If you enjoy rabble rousing and a good sea story, follow at Cigars and Sea everywhere. Now, we publish through Libsyn, but we go all over the place. iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, iHeart, I believe, carries us all over the freaking place, right? Number of different aggregators that you can go. So, anywhere you enjoy listening to podcasts, we're probably already at. The vast majority of you guys listen to us on iTunes. So, look up at Cigars and Sea. Also, if you're lazy like me and you just want to go to cigarsandc.com, you totally can. I am so lazy, by the way, that URL has actually made its way into the absolute top echelon. Just Cigars and Sea. That's mine. So, if you guys want to go there, subscribe, rate, review the podcast time now. And what do you think? Did you find the Carnegie flood thing?
No, I'm still looking up the Silverthorne. I'm curious about
Terrible
that.
researcher. You're fired. Oh, you're looking up Silverthorne to see if there's a town at the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. Yeah, it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
It's flood.
Oh, yeah. Well, and there's one right down the way from me in Falls Lake here in North Carolina. It was just an old ghost town, and then they flooded it up with a reservoir.
Oh, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn how to scuba dive.
No. See,
absolutely.
That's the one thing, man. I asked my buddy, who is a doc, who went into the SEALs, hey, man, should I go that way? Kind of a deal when I was looking at the exit route. He's like, you want to spend 12 hours underwater? Fuck no. Then don't join the U.S. Navy SEALs. I'm like, all right, roger that. You know, you want to get enclosed inside of a tube where they flood it and you all swim out? No. Don't join the Navy SEALs. Like, okay, gotcha. I'm not that guy, man. I'm lucky that I never had to go on a ship as a Marine. I purposely dodged that shit. Like, hey, Penny, you want to go on a float, or do you want to go into the most kinetic environment that's out there? I would much rather go into the most kinetic ground pounding environment in a 3D battlefield. Put me back in Ramadi. Then go down there. Human beings don't belong in the ocean. If we did, we wouldn't have to bring all of our fucking oxygen with us all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah, there's an old saying as to how do you avoid getting eaten by a shark?
Don't
Stay out of the fucking ocean.
Truth. But there are some folks who love it, and I totally understand. Just not a good fit for this guy. You want to know why, though? This is another true sea story. This happened. This is reality. You ready for this?
I'm prepared.
You ever been to
I'm
Sheboygan?
buckled in.
Or wait, no, not Sheboygan. Charlevoix. You ever been to Charlevoix, Michigan? You ever heard of it?
No, but Sheboygan, they have sausages, right?
Sausages. Yeah, so if
All right.
if you have class, you go up to Charlevoix, get in the know, and then you make fun of the fudgies as they're watching the drawbridge go up and down. They just sit there and just gnaw on fudge. Their waistband expands. They all wear elastic. Don't worry about them. They all wear elastic.
Where is this located?
This is Charlevoix, Michigan. All right, so go ahead, look down at your right palm, and and at the top of your ring finger.
Pretty familiar with it.
All right, that's going to be Charlevoix right there. Right, so that's the map of Michigan. Go to the top of your ring finger, inside of the right palm. Biggity bow, there's Charlevoix. All right. Now up there, the water is crystal clear. And we went on a pontoon boat one time when I was a kid. I'm out there scuba diving around, not scuba diving, excuse me, snorkeling around. Right? No fins, just snorkel, mask, whatever. I'm looking straight down, crystal clear, can see the bottom of the whole 9 yards. And then all of a sudden, the mast of a ship appears underneath of me, and I am looking over the top, long ways of this ghost ship that is underneath of the waves. And I'm like, no, fuck no. And I just turn around and beeline it straight back over the boat. Scared the ever-living piss out of me, dude. It scared me to death, man. It just freaked me out. You know, I was a little kid. I was like, no. I don't want to be in the water with a ghost ship. I'm all good. I'm going to hang out up here. That's some weird ghost ship. People like
and that's where your phobia comes from.
That's where it comes from. It's totally fine. Have I scuba dived before? Yes, I have. Have I faced my fears and conquered them? Mm-hmm. Hey, Mike, you want to go scuba diving? No, not so much. I'm all set. I'm all good. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm not a big water guy. I'm a land guy.
Yeah, you were a tanker.
Which, as you were describing, I think a couple conversations ago that we had, is that you viewed tanks as more or less a ship on land.
Yes, I did share that with you, didn't I?
You did indeed. I'm a good listener.
Well, especially out in the desert, right? Where you're like, man, I'm out in the middle of fucking nowhere. You know, like, what is this? You're out in the middle of the Mojave. The tank is definitely, it's like the frigate of the desert, if I can steal a term. Dude, I'm telling you right now, one of the scariest things in the world is watching an M1 Abrams tank do work. And I would never want to encounter one of those things on the battlefield, ever. Did you ever use a grunt phone?
I may have used a grunt phone, but it may be called something different in the Army as opposed to the Marines.
It's a phone on the back. It's a phone on the back.
On the tank?
Yeah.
We never had phones on our tanks in the Army.
Yes, there is a phone that can connect via the same plug-in. It's a handset. So that you can connect in from outside of the tank. You can run up with your hook, your standard hook, and you can run up to the back of the tank and plug it in. And you can actually talk across that. I've done it. And I've also, and my vehicle commander in Ramadi, in the middle of a firefight, ran up and did exactly that. And the guys inside of the tank are like, "Who the fuck is this?" I'm behind your tank. I'm a grunt. I'm behind your tank. I'm standing here, and you need to turn right. Turn the turret right. And the guys are like, "What?" And they turn the turret right, and then with a coax down this long axis.
Well, that's outstanding. For a second, I thought you were completely bullshitting me as to saying, "Hey, can you go get me an exhaust sample with this trash bag and go give it to the mechanics?"
Look it up, man. Look up the grunt phone.
I'm looking at it right now.
Are you?
I am.
It's a brilliant idea, isn't it? I mean, don't squish me back here, but it's a brilliant idea.
Nobody's squishing anybody.
I mean, why not?
I never saw this at all. I'm a horrible tanker, apparently.
No, because you were a driver, weren't you?
A driver loader, yeah.
Well, there you go. The thing ran and it moved forward. You're fine. A lot of people don't know about the grunt phone.
No, not even me as a tanker.
Well, and those of us, Bradley, so you can do that with Bradley too, I believe.
Yeah, but keep in mind though, I was more of a twat, so a tanker without a tank. So the most of the time I was on a Humvee.
Oh, that's one of the best acronyms I've ever heard in my entire life. You were a twat. I'm sorry.
Twat.
Can you? This is for posterity's sake. Can you repeat the definition of twat, please? Oh, God.
The official definition of twat, T.W.A.T, is tanker without a tank.
Great acronym. Phenomenal acronym. Acronym of the day, hands down. So you're
maybe that's where twat waffle came from. I have no idea, but
see, my wife and I can't swear in front of the kids, so we combine words. Like you're being a real quat or a real twant, okay? All right, or you're being a real twant quat. All right, I'm gonna tell you that much right now. Stepping over a line here. We're getting into a tiff. I'm being a real twant quat right now. And then she's like, "I'm gonna dick punch you." I'm like, it's getting real. That's what my home life's like. You're welcome. So you're a scout then, the majority of the time?
No, not really. It depends on where I was. In Korea, I was on tanks, but then when we were curtailed to go back to the States, I was at Fort Riley, and I worked out a battalion and was a part of PSD leading up to our deployment. That deployment got canceled, and then I became a driver for the major while we were waiting orders for our next deployment. So that's pretty much what I did. And then our orders didn't require tanks, and they said, "Here's Humvees, go have fun." So my tanking experience was short-lived in Korea for about 8 months.
Wow. Damn, dude, PSD mission got canceled, huh? PSDs are fun.
I know. Training was fun.
Well, yeah.
But it wasn't meant to be.
Who are you PSD for?
Sergeant Major.
Oh, my God. That right there, I bet you got to do a lot of live fire for your training. No? Yeah?
Yeah, he was as we'd call it, pretty hua. So
That was pretty hua.
Yeah. And so we did quite a bit of training, and he was actually he made us do Taibo for our strength and conditioning, the equivalent, and I laughed my ass off when I first heard about it, and then we actually did it, and it kicked our ass.
Oh, God, yeah.
It is freaking hard.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
We did Taibo and yoga one day for PT, and I went into it laughing, and I went walking out of it crying. Taibo and yoga back to back. Yeah.
I've only done yoga once in my life, and I'll never do it again. And the reason why is because I left more pissed off at the end of it than when I first went into that room. And the reason why is because I had a real issue with somebody telling me to take a deep breath and then feel it release out of the tip of your toes. And it just angered me. It really did. It angered me. And so the whole time I'm sitting there, while everybody's, breathing and releasing their breath through their toes, I'm thinking about blowing shit up to calm myself down.
Right.
So that was a pretty bad experience. So I just stick to regular working out.
Did you ever do Pilates?
Haven't done Pilates, but I'd be willing to give it a shot.
You should totally check out Pilates and the founder of Pilates, because if memory serves me correct, World War One, or was created for returning World War One veterans. Pilates was.
No kidding.
So a lot of folks don't realize that, and another book that a lot of people would never even put any real merit to is Solitary Fitness. You ever heard of Solitary Fitness?
No.
All right. So, have you ever heard of Great Britain's most violent criminal, Charlie Bronson?
Yes.
Okay, so it is his book. It's his workout routine. Which anybody who's ever researched Charlie Bronson, wow. He has to wear blue-colored sunglasses because his eyes don't adjust to natural daylight. He's been in solitary so long. But he can do 1,500 push-ups, just without breaking a sweat kind of a deal. Because that's what he does. He lives in a box and works out. So, if you can stay in shape, so can you. So I looked it up. I'm like, hey man, this would be a good workout for on deployment. But I figured out a secret. Can I tell you my secret?
I want to know your secret.
All right, here it goes. Some people hire landscapers and they go to the gym. I mow my own lawn. See what I did there? See what I did? Think about it. Some people hire landscapers and go to the gym. I mow my own lawn. There it is. There's the secret. Nailed it. 2 birds, 1 stone. You ever mow the lawn in North Carolina? 95-degree heat, 120% humidity. Balls, sweat, just everywhere. Like you're sweating through your shoes. Oh yeah. Talking about a workout. Talking about slaying that body. You should try it. Now, perfect segue. If you don't want to mow your own lawn, call HOCOA. See?
Well, what does HOCOA do? I don't know.
Oh my goodness. HOCOA, the Home Repair Network, established in 1993, is the concierge phone service for homeowners. All right, now the reason why I personally dig it is because I can't stand trying to find a contractor, and I can't stand trying to keep up with a contractor and follow up with a contractor. And if the contractor doesn't follow through, who do I contact next? And if you've ever worked with contractors, it's a freaking nightmare unless they're working in some sort of organized way. And HOCOA did that a long time ago. They figured it out. It's like calling your buddy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. Saying like, hey bro, I need a contractor over here. You didn't show up, I need another one. And I love it. I think you already knew that though.
I did. I was just plain stupid.
Yeah,
which is another acronym to replace T.W.A.T, and that is a DAT, which is also known as a dumbass tanker, because tankers aren't really known to be the smartest of individuals.
Yeah, there's a rumor about that somewhere. Yeah, I've encountered a few rare breed tankers. I actually I know one guy almost got his head squished by the turret. So because the inside shouldn't squish you because you can't open the door, but if you open the hatch and try to get out while the turret's moving, it can clip your head off. But then they put a failsafe in, and then yeah, he like got his Kevlar wedged in it. Yeah, super stellar individual.
I think actually the last episode that we were talking on this is I actually told you the story of when we were in Iraq and we're actually on an ASV, which is like a little mini tank, kind of like a Striker in a sense, but it has a turret on it. And the TC at the time disabled the turret safety switch, and I pinned his head against the side of the vehicle, and I've never heard screams so damn loud in my life. His arms were all flailing and everything, yelling, Sergeant Gray, Sergeant Gray. And I had no idea what the hell was going on until about 30 seconds later.
Right. Right.
And the greatest part about it was that the driver, Private Wong, who spent 4 years in the military and was a private and got out as a private, obviously, he got into a little bit of trouble.
Right.
He was laughing his ass off the entire time. Holy hell. I didn't do it on purpose, and my TC, I love the guy. He's a good dude, but it was pretty funny.
Dude. Well, and I was sharing this with you, and the gunner will remain nameless, but you know how Humvee turrets, we went from swinging them to cranking them? Like, we had hand cranks. We didn't have the joystick thingy. So we always had hand cranks if you wanted to traverse to the right on those up armor turrets. So he was standing up in the gun, and we were kind of leaning on a hill, whatever, so there was a reason why he was bracing himself up against the turret, and he had his, just his belt line in between the belt and his knees was leaned up against the turret, and he goes to traverse it, and he's like, ha, 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 and he pulls it back off. The tip of his bell head got caught. Yes, the head of his schmank got caught in the gear of the turret and started squeezing it, like zipping yourself up in a zipper, only whoa. Like, you're gonna decapitate your little man if you keep cranking this bad boy. But he was ha, 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 and then cranked it back off. Oh, dude. Like, what happened? Nothing. And just told me afterwards. He told me, he's like, yeah, I got my bell head caught in there. It's really no big whoop. We're okay. We're fine. He's alive. It still works. So, but like, dude, he got like a blood blister on there. Oh my God, man. Zipping yourself up is, it's one of the biggest, there's a reason for the tuck back, okay? Let me tell you what. You do not want to zip yourself up. I'm going to tell you, you do not want to roll your wang inside of a turret either. So that could have been really, really bad. But the reason why...
Can you explain as to what a tuck back is? Is that like a Caitlyn Jenner thing, or what is that exactly?
Pre-op, Caitlyn Jenner. Hey, I can't talk shit. She follows me on Twitter. So, but the tuck back, for those of you who don't know, you got to put everything back inside where it all belongs, and kind of, you pop the butt back a little bit. Just kind of pop it back a little bit. Get everything tucked down in there. Make sure that the underwear has it all covered and concealed before actually zipping. And even still, that can be a dangerous operation, because what do we got to do, fellas? You got to pull down at the bottom of the zipper and make sure that you have enough angle away from the dangle before you start zipping. Everybody knows this. This is common knowledge. All right, it's the tuck back, boom, hip pop to the pull down, zzz, and then it's out of the way. Whew, made it through that one. Let me tell you what, ours might be quicker, but it is more dangerous, ladies.
Well, I would say that's where underwear comes in.
You're a boxer brief guy, aren't you?
I'm a boxer brief guy.
Of course, could have nailed that.
Obviously, you're not.
No, I definitely am. I found one pair of boxer briefs, like the one, type or whatever, and then I just go and buy them out. Whenever I see them, and I'm not going to tell you where I get them, and you can't get them online. You can only get them in stores, and I buy them out. Ooh, they got like 6 packs in my size. Boom. They're all black. I went Einstein with it. Less decisions. I'm a boxer brief guy. I am, man.
That could be an entire episode. Boxers or briefs.
Oh, it definitely has been.
Oh, it has been.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what was the outcome? What are the stats from it?
Boxer brief. Straight up boxer brief.
Boxer briefs are the way to go.
Oh yeah, that's a windfall right there. Well, I mean, if you're in the 60 and over crowd, maybe you're still hanging on to the whitey tighties kind of a deal. But I'm telling you right now, I threw away them tighty bastards the second that I left Marine Corps Recruit Training Depot. Negative. You want to get some serious chafing on the inside of your legs right there? You know what I'm talking about. Where all of the meat's right up with the inside of the thigh. I got scars. I got scars, man.
But did they issue in the Marine Corps white ones or brown ones or tan ones?
Tighty whities. Straight up
tighty whities.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, Army. It's brown.
Wait, but you're issued that stuff.
We are issued that stuff.
See, that's the difference. We go to the so we have like a TAP issue that we start, and then we go to the PX and we buy all of the other necessary items. And everybody goes through and puts it all on their charge card. And all that shit is charged to you on your last paycheck as you leave boot camp. Or on your first paycheck, technically, as you leave boot camp. All of it. Recruits pay for it.
Incredible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're telling me.
You had to buy your own underwear.
Mm-hmm.
See, in the Army, they issued them to you, and you actually had to hold on to them. You couldn't throw them away because they did an inspection. You had to actually have it with you at all times, or at least somewhere in your possession.
Oh, no, we wore ours. You had to wear your tighty whitey no matter what. I mean, we didn't have our own choice of underpants when we were going through boot camp. It was just straight skivvies.
Oh, okay, yeah. In basic training in the Army, you had to wear those. But I'm talking about once you get out and get to your first duty assignment.
Oh, for inspection. I got you.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
No, they didn't inspect that you actually had them on, but if they wanted to be dicks or anything, they'd pull that card out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there were numerous things that were in the junk on the bunk inspection that didn't necessarily make it into the final gear list, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I got my 3 underwear right here. Because I did the same thing. I just had a pack of underwear. That's all that it was. And I took my, do you guys name stamp everything? It's like a stamp kit, and it's got your name and your blood type and your social or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
A marking kit?
No, do we have marking kits? No, but we did have different ways of identification.
So, I can't remember because I only marked one set of camis my entire Marine Corps career, and because I'm that guy, it goes into certain areas around your Marine Corps uniform, right? It goes inside of your cover, it goes inside of your belt line, it goes inside of your blouse, inside of your skivvy shirt, and the same thing with your skivvies. You have to mark your skivvies, right?
I just love that name. I just love that skivvies. Name. Yeah, I was actually founding a company when I probably 2 years out of the military, and it was in the software world, and there was one guy that was helping us as an advisor, and we were trying to figure out names for the company, and his recommendation was Sky Viz, SKYVIZ.
Yes.
Skivvies. And we said, not so much. Not so much.
Skivvies.
Stick to financials.
Oh, man. That's good stuff. Everybody's input is valid during a brainstorming session, okay?
Hey, I mean, I get where you was going, but it really didn't play out very well.
That's so great. See, what I always did is I had my pack of skivvies, and they're like, it has to be marked. So I just took my marking kit and stamped the outside of the package without ever opening it. Has to be marked, okay. You really don't care, do you? No, I'm not going to wear these things in combat. I'm going to wear my beautiful boxer briefs that I've locked on. Yep.
A quick question for you. So we're talking about skivvies, relating to being underwear, underpants, whatever you want to call that. Some people call a glove box, but other people call a glove box a jockey box. Do you call it a jockey box or do you call it a glove box?
Glove box. Glove box. Yeah.
Jockey box. Jockey box.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, but it's also kind of, is it poppin' soda? Is that where we're going?
I have no clue. My dad always called it a jockey box, so therefore I called it a jockey box. I still do to this day.
Wow. That is interesting.
But, isn't it? It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Why do we park on the driveway and drive on the parkway? I don't know. So many questions.
Oh, that's a real mind bender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like making Z's in cursive, which if you can't do, you're dumb. Anyway, getting back to the show. Did you see my post about writing in cursive? I
did.
I teach my children how to write in cursive so that they can read the Constitution.
It's a lost art. I don't even think they actually teach it in schools anymore.
They do not. It's not required curriculum. It's not that teachers don't want to teach it. It's that it's not required, so they decide not to.
I'll have to ask my girlfriend. She's a high school teacher. See if the kids know how to do cursive.
Right? Dude, if you don't know how to write in cursive, you're a boot in life. You are a boot in life if you don't know how to write in cursive. Rizzuto. Got any more brain busters? And he's sitting there and he's trying to do the Z's. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Well, what I'll say is I think cursive is actually is good to improve your penmanship, because my regular penmanship is it's horrible. It looks like chicken scratch, Homer Simpson. But if I write in cursive, it actually looks good because I have to take the time and I slow down and I'm following my thoughts rather than jumping ahead of them.
Can you write with both hands? Have you ever tried writing with your non-dominant hand?
No, but I can put my foot in my mouth, literally. I can actually put my toe in my mouth.
That is a skill. But where I was going with this...
Hey, I'm just saying, man.
We'll call it a talent, maybe not a skill. Do you chew on your own toenails? Because then we're reaching into the skill department. If you're,
Okay, so I could chew my own toenails, but I don't.
That's gross.
I know, that is gross. I could if I wanted to, but I don't.
Did you ever?
I have nice.
What's it?
I said I have nice toenails as well.
Yeah, are you a pedicure guy?
I'm not. Well, I pedicure myself.
Oh, do you? See, yeah. I am totally down with going to get a pedicure. A manicure, not so much. But going and doing a pedicure, I used to do it once every other week when I was in the fleet. Like going out, going on humps, doing all sorts of stuff. I'm not getting ingrown toenails and bunions and shit like that. Hell no. And go pay a lady to scrape all that shit off my feet, rub them down, stuff like that. Tip her really well. Listen to their funny jokes. You know what I'm talking about. It's an experience going and getting a pedicure.
That just reminds me of a classic joke, but...
Oh, what? You can't tell it? You're going to foreshadow like that, and then you're not going to tell it. Do you want me to say one that's much more soul-hurting prior to yours so that you feel better?
Let's do it. Yeah, you go ahead.
All right.
You do it first.
What did Helen Keller say when she was falling off a cliff? Did you get it?
I got.
Why does she play the piano with one hand? Because she's singing with the other one. See?
It's fucked up.
Right, it is fucked up. All right, now tell me your joke. What do you got?
Okay, well, it's not that bad, actually. But what did the leper say to the hooker?
What?
Keep the tip.
That's a good one. That my buddy in the turret could have been that guy. He could have been that guy. Whew. Looked like a baby's arm holding an apple when that fucker swelled up. Let me tell you what. Keep the tip. You pay me to leave. Not me. Never paid for sex. I'm handsome. Nah, it's a joke. All right, but we all have if you've dated before. Now, getting back to things, I just want to wrap some stuff up here. Some loose ends, so to speak. You bounced around, you've done a number of different things. Good times working with fellow veterans. You yourself, a successful business owner, having already exited. And we've come together on 5-paragraph. Now, did you use the 5-paragraph operations order when you were in the military?
I did, yes.
And you were a tanker out of the United States Army, correct?
That is correct.
Do you think that we could work together?
I'll have to think about it, but I'm thinking there's probably a pretty good chance we could.
Pretty good chance. Now, here's why I bring it up like this. You were in the U.S. Army. You went down a completely different route. All of these other different things. I went down the Marine Corps route. I was an E5 when I got out. I was a patrol leader when I got out. But we can run joint missions together. You in a tank, and me over here doing whatever. Shooting mortars or tows or whatever. But we can combine our forces and intercommunicate based on, of course, a lot of other known nomenclature and stuff like that, and we will understand that culture. But we can plan and execute joint operations using a 5-paragraph op order. And you've seen it been done, have you not?
I have.
So, this is exactly why we created the 5-paragraph business plan. And earlier today, I sat down with Miss Cheryl Williams, who's a lovely woman. She came to our business development group over at Thomas McPherson's place on Main Street, Wake Forest. Now, if you're not familiar, take 401 or Capitol northbound. All right, and we are talking about Old Main Street, right on the other side of the train tracks from where the seminary is. And we are starting to hold more routine business development groups, getting together and spreading this in a much greater way in order to maintain accountability across every organization. But on top of it, Cheryl Williams has a completely different business model. N8 Essentials Oils is her business, right? That she's jiving on. Now, we're going to be able to come together and speak on the same terms to be able to coordinate our efforts. Can you imagine striking a partnership with, Gray Point Ventures, 5-paragraph, and HOCOA? How the hell are we going to be able to communicate with one another? 5-paragraph. And I've told the listener audience this before. This is the time, today's day and age, it's a very pointed time, especially with everything that's going on. If you listened to our last episode about Q, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I personally demand accountability, and I hope that you demand accountability out of me. So, how did you first get introduced to this whole HOCOA understanding?
About HOCOA as, like, what HOCOA is?
Yes. How did you get introduced to it?
That's a pretty simple answer. So, part of what Gray Point Ventures does, it does two things. The first one is that it goes out and purchases the development rights for certain established franchise concepts and then develops out regions. But the second part is helping people venture into business ownership, either through franchising or licensing opportunities. And, through that, we've built up relationships with a fair number of high margin, low overhead, demand driven business models, and did a lot of due diligence. And HOCOA was one of those companies that we ran across when we formed our portfolio of offerings, and had a client of ours that I felt that HOCOA would be a good fit for. and just had a quick conversation with, well, not too quick, but with Craig Maddox, the founder and president of the company, and thought it had a lot of opportunity that was out there, just in a very large market, about a $400 billion industry. So
Right. Right.
it's huge, man.
Oh,
It's
it's massive.
absolutely huge. And, you know, as you mentioned beforehand, HOCOA is that personal concierge service for your home repair and improvement needs. And it does operate, you know, obviously in the same, you know, circle or ecosystem as the home advisors or Andy's lists of the world. But you know, you don't have to have complete total market domination to be successful. You just have to have a sliver of it if it's that big.
Well, and much offense, I'm not going to go to a company that is dealing with false advertising lawsuits, okay? I'm not going to deal with you people. It's not going to happen. I'm really glad that they bought Angie's List also. I mean, come on, man. I mean, how many people need to be duped?
Well, Andy's List, that's crazy too, because they were, I don't know how much they actually bought them for. Should be able to pull their 10K and figure that out in one form or another. But what I do know is that Angie's List was about $500 million in debt during the acquisition of them. So not cool. Well, and then now Home Advisor's being sued, class action from the state of California.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm a homeowner who is sick and tired of being screwed. I demand accountability. I want to know what the hell is going on. And I want a reliable source to delegate that authority to. Plain and simple. That's HOCOA. Hey, your guy didn't show up. All right, no one's coming out. And that is so unbelievably rare, it's insane. But imagine, you didn't have somebody come out. You had somebody who did come out, screwed up the job. You had somebody who came out, did an excellent job, screwed everything up in the cleanup. Whenever the case may be, you have clout. Not overlord clout, but you have clout with HOCOA because of quality assurance, quality control. A one phone call concierge service. Get the honey-do list done. Right? Don't have a man around the house? Fine, call HOCOA. Need to change light bulbs? Need to inspect the crawl space? Go up, check some shingles, whatever the case may be, call HOCOA. You got a vacation spot that needs to be taken care of? You know Nick's out in Denver with HOCOA, right? Get your spot taken care of the right way. If you're sick of getting jerked around, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't put up with that bullshit. Anybody who knows me knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'd rather pistol whip you than deal with your bullshit. Get out of here. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, there's just, yeah, it's, I mean, I guess the best way to, I mean, the way I look at it is, you know, I mean, a home is most of the time the biggest investment of any American.
It's where my family lives.
Yeah, and you need to protect that. You need to continue to build equity in it. And you know, there's obviously maintenance that needs to happen within your home on a seasonal and annual basis. And typically, people, you know, they can go to the home advisors and do that stuff, but you're just going to be inundated with 5 to 15 phone calls from people that are trying to get your business, or you're going to talk to your colleagues, your neighbors, or your coworkers, friends, family, people at the gym, who the hell knows,
right?
And be asking for recommendations. And then you still have to do your own due diligence on those people.
Right.
The exact opposite with HOCOA, and that is you have a problem. Sometimes it's an emergency, so you don't have time to do all your due diligence. Instead of having to make thousands of phone calls, you make one, and your problem is taken care of. So it's a really good service out there, particularly if you want to, keep that equity in your home that you've built up.
Absolutely. Well, and if you yourself are thinking to yourself, hey man, I want to be a HOCOA unit owner. How do I become a HOCOA unit owner, right? They're growing across the nation. They spread through territory. It benefits you to be around another HOCOA unit owner. You support one another's efforts as adjacent units. And how do you do that? Through the use of 5-paragraph business plan. We came together, Gray Point, 5-paragraph, HOCOA, and created a vision for what this expansion is going to look like. And we have been working day and night to make it a reality. And each one of these different HOCOA unit owners are being stood up working with us at 5 Paragraph. And each one of us, to include myself, work within a supportive group, a business development group, a network of leaders. And each one of us demand accountability. That is the point. If you don't like accountability or it makes you sick in your stomach, you're in the wrong group of folks. I'm going to tell you that much right now. You either want it or you don't. All right? Because right now, here in America, what we're dealing with right now, we demand accountability. We demand transparency. And you as a business owner should demand the exact same thing. And that's why we keep it all above board using 5 Paragraph. We have the ability to work off one another's battle plan using 5 Paragraph. We work with one another as adjacent units. So call us, contact us. Nick, what's the link that you've got? Because honestly, I think that website put together is fantastic. It's got all the information they need. What's the link you've got?
So the best way to go to it is just go to graypoint.co. So graypoint.co. And on the website, there is a link that is titled HOCOA on the menu bar. Or you can go to hocoa.graypoint.co. Either or works.
There you go. See, so you've heard me share our links on here before. Having Nick with us, I want to make sure that you're going to graypoint.co. And I want you to click on that HOCOA link. Take a look at Graypoint. Take a look at 5 Paragraph. Take a look at HOCOA.com. Look at all of our organizations here. Do your due diligence. Do your research on us. Right? Go for it. We ain't going anywhere. Do your research on us.
And what I would say too is that, part of what I do and part of the reason as to why Graypoint exists is to have conversations with people that are just interested in business ownership in general. And, through my experiences of starting and running companies and raising millions of dollars in venture capital and forming partnerships with Fortune 500 companies, is that my number one job is to understand if somebody is even qualified for entrepreneurship, understand what their goals are. And so, and if somebody is qualified for entrepreneurship, the second question is going to be, are you suited to be a franchise owner or a license owner? Because not everybody that's suited to be an entrepreneur is suited to be a franchisee or a licensee. Sometimes people really just need to, blaze their own trail, and that's totally okay. But if you are, in a good mindset that franchising or licensing is a good foundation to help you achieve your goals, then we can look at HOCOA, look at other opportunities, but HOCOA right now is the hot one. So
yeah, well, and I would say it is based on what you want to do as an entrepreneur. Each one of those is an entrepreneurial endeavor. To go into a franchise licensing agreement and not run it the same way that you would run a startup is just foolish. Each one of those is an entrepreneurial endeavor, and each one of them you need to gain traction, and each one of them you have to hit a break even, and each one of them is starting from scratch, but with a great support network, depending on the franchise or license option you get, what have you. They do not all do the same stuff. But for folks who enjoy being a part of something greater than themselves, working with a support network, being able to speak in the same terms, on the same page, check out HOCOA. Check out 5P. See how we work together. Nick Gray, thank you so much for being here, man.
Hey, no problem. Not a problem at all. And I would just add one thing, though, too.
Please,
is that,
yes.
Yeah. And I think you brought up a really good point about, you can't treat, if you buy into a license or buy into a franchise, you still have to treat it as a startup, because there is that ramp up period. And coming from, starting, founding companies that weren't franchises or weren't license opportunities, and having some failures along the way, but also having some success, is that I know how freaking difficult it is to, as I call it, create that playbook which that playbook essentially helps you avoid certain pitfalls. And while you're still going to obviously hit some pitfalls in business ownership in general, one of the nice things about franchising or licensing, particularly in the HOCOA business model, is that you're not creating the playbook, rather you're being handed a proven playbook, i.e. business model, and just going out there and executing. And that's where obviously 5-paragraph comes into play, is that it helps you take that playbook that's proven and put together a go-to-market strategy. So that's all I have to say.
Excellent.
But I thought it was important.
Very good caveat, sir. Thank you. I do appreciate you being here. I do appreciate the listeners listening all the way through our episodes. Thank you so much. Folks, if you haven't already done so, subscribe, rate, review the podcast. Thank you to our collaborative sponsors. Of course, HOCOA, the Home Repair Network. Check them out. We've given you the links. Check them out at HOCOA.com. And I want to give a special thanks to Heroes Media Group. You guys keep on rocking out there. Mr. Adam Bird's doing big things with the overall Heroes Media Group. Things are changing over there in a very, very positive way. Guys moving and shaking. If you're looking to get a website done, if you're looking to position yourself, if you're looking to do targeted marketing, check out McPherson Marketing Group. There is a package that can be built specifically for your needs. It's all about what you want to achieve. Just have a goal in mind. When you get on the phone, have a goal in mind. All right? Things are going to speed up real quick when you get with McPherson Marketing Group. If you guys are in the contracting, the general contracting, the trades, some sort of construction, you're looking to do a professional web real estate, professional website, get all the bells and whistles put together, go see our buddy Jeremy over at Spartan Media. He works with a large network himself, Spartan Media, doing great things as far as building websites. They've done stuff for us before in the past. They've helped a number of different people before in the past. Jeremy is a fellow Marine. I have no problem steering you towards him. Thomas McPherson is a fellow veteran. He himself retiring as a captain out of the U.S. Army. He was prior enlisted. Phenomenal person. Have no problem steering them your way or steering you their way. All right, folks. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Continue to like and share. Continue to subscribe. Continue to bring the heat to the conversation. You know what I'm talking about. You folks out there, wake them up, folks. Thank you so much for being a part of the Cigars and Sea Stories listener group. Get in there, talk with us, give us your thoughts. It's an open conversation between close-hearted people. And on that note, we cue the music.